Podcast starts at 19 seconds.
Welcome to a new episode of Fit the Description, a Black Men's podcast where various Black men come together to talk about life, society, entertainment, culture, news, and whatever else we want to talk about from various Black men's perspectives. I'm your host, G, and today we got Keith.
What's up?
Shibity.
Yep.
And maybe we'll have James on later.
No.
You good over there?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just too funny. It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. On your way in, make sure to subscribe, follow. Also, make sure to check out the Clips channel, Fit the Description podcast over here on YouTube. All additional links will be down below if you want to check out the audio version of this podcast. And also, we also have an Instagram, just so you know. And beyond that, let's go ahead and get started.
I do feel like it starts with black people coming together. It's like you can start something and then you can have educational areas. You can have, okay, I can get a person that can teach kids about cars. I can get and it's like I said, time. It's just about time. I know time is one of the hardest things. It doesn't have to be all black people, because I know all black people ain't going to want to be a part of something because it's always some goddamn excuse. Hate to say it like that, but it's the truth. The goddamn truth. So it's like, I got Mexican homies. I got Asian homies that know how to write code that I could be like, hey, bro, if I shoot you some money and you hold this little code seminar, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. Yeah. It's like, I don't mind. It's like, I want to contribute to the evolution of going forward. Like I said, I'm not really a religious person. I'm not really I believe in the same people that are destroying this world are going to be the same people who are going to fix it. So it's like, it's going to be generations that need to know that we can learn, we can build, we can create. And it's like kids nowadays from the ages of 18 to 25, if they're not sitting behind a video game, and I watch these kids younger than that. I watch my son build on Roblox that I'm just like, I don't even know how you looking at that screen for as long as you are, let alone building a massive building. I couldn't even stand. You said what?
Hey, question. You grew up with some old heads, huh?
I honestly, I'm not gonna say that I did it, but I just figured out this world a long time ago. And yes, the generation before me, or I would say the generation maybe before that generation, had the answers. Because this dude said something to me. What did he say? Strong men make weak men. Weak men make strong men. And it's like, it always skips the generation. If you look at the generation, it's like, that's like, I feel like the generation before us was treated hard. So they had to be hard. And now that we're not as hard as we should be, and now we're creating weak boys, like these 20-year-olds are weak. But I feel like those weak men are gonna create strong men. Because I'm looking at my son and his friends, like they have the drive. They just don't have the guidance. Like there's no guidance there.
Okay.
I feel like, and that's the problem.
So then you got to define what you consider weak.
Okay, hold on. Wait. Okay, here's how it goes. I just brought it up. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men creates hard times. That's what it is. Okay,
well, to my point, thank you, Mr. Accurate, fucking Jesus Christ.
Hey, we got an audience. I want to make sure they know.
To my point is that we are living in a generation of this is a time where what we say doesn't matter. And it's like media is at an all-time influence. I remember when media didn't have that much of an influence. But it's like I feel like I said, we're not giving these kids like it's so many things out there. It's just like simulators. Like if we had mechanic simulators and all these simulators like these kids have nowadays, it's like my son, he wants to be a pilot. Like he really does. Like, and which is awesome. It's like there's not a lot of kids that are like, okay, I want to do this and I want to stick to this. Blah blah blah. Like I said, I want to get him a flight simulator so he can try to start doing shit and learning and this and that. But I'm just saying, like, yes, we have video games that are teaching you, you know, things that are like they're giving you the tools. And it's like, but people are, you know, not focusing on, you know, oh, well, I'm going to teach my kid this. Like, yeah, I don't like my kid that he plays GTA, but that nigga, he knows how to work the system on GTA. It's like, man, you know, that's good. Like, learn what you need to learn, not to learn how to become a drug kingpin, but how to manage your money. If this is going to teach you how to manage your money in the real world, which it has, it's taught him the value of, okay, I'm going to flip this 20, try to get 30. Okay, if I do these extra chores, then I could save this, buy this, I could do that, do this. But that's just from playing GTA. Now, yes, like I said, all the bullshit that comes with GTA.
And it's, you know what's crazy? It's a video on YouTube about saving a video, the times video games like saved life or was beneficial, and it kind of goes over shit like that. Like it was like a little kid known like him, they were in the woods and they you know, it was an animal and then he knew how to react based off of the video game, or how he knew how to the car his mother had a seizure or passed out or something, and he coasted the car off into a ditch so that they wouldn't get hurt. And it was off of video, like it was like little stories like that throughout, and it was a trip, like all the different little stories of how video games kind of played a big part into how why these kids was learning stuff, or even like in like it was like stuff that they had learned in Minecraft and different stuff that made these kids able to survive in real life situations. It was a trip. I got to find a video and send it to you, G.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's like those kids that, you know, and I'm not trying to say that this is a good thing. By no means am I condoning these actions, but it's just like those kids. I said all those kids that hid under bodies and that whole shooting was happening in Texas and stuff. Like kids are hiding under other kids. They're kids. I mean, I hate to say it, that just don't come to every kid. That just doesn't. There's a reason behind that, and I'm not gonna be like, oh well, you know, this and that. But I will say that I talked to some kids and seen their point of view, and they were like, yeah, I would do it because I played this, or I do it because I did this. It's all about survival and this and that. So it's like kids are learning. Kids are learning, and it's like that's what they're at. And I'm not saying, like I said, I don't condone that, but I just know when I was a kid, I'd have been pissing in my pants. But to have that wherewithal and that survival instinct is amazing to a person like me. It's like that's crazy. I would have never have had that as a kid. I'd have been so scared. I would have been looking for an adult. So to be like, I want to live is awesome. It's just awesome.
I think it's also just what you kind of go through. If you like, you know, a kid who unfortunately a kid who have good upbringing may not translate it right away. You know, you got good upbringing, you are gonna look for somebody, because it's kind of like the fish story, right? Which is better to teach somebody, you know what I'm saying, um how to fish, or to keep giving them fish. And when you know you're a parent, especially when you've been through stuff yourself, you tend to just give them the fish. You know what I'm saying? So they in turn they get in a situation like that. You know, that's how they're dealing with it, because you know what I'm saying, they used to being given a fish. And unfortunately, bad circumstances is what a lot of times is what gives you the strive to change some shit around. You know, like you'll change some shit around based off of those, you know what I'm saying, based off those circumstances that you're going through. You know, you may be like, oh, I had to walk such and such many miles to get to work or to get to school. That's because you ain't had no choice. You know, now you can, you know,
Yeah.
nowadays people get a car and they get on a bus, man, and you can always tell a person with a car on the bus because they won't shut up about it. Oh yeah, man, you know, my car in the shop. Like they so embarrassed that they gotta be like common folk and get on the damn bus on the bus, and everybody gotta know that they got a car and that they just going and blah 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 blah. And it's funny as hell to me because it's like, come on, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can't be serious right now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all sitting up here really, you know, it's all right. You know what I'm saying? Be like, it's all right. You know, we get it. You going through some tough times. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, everybody, all these strangers don't need to know that you actually got a car. You just on the bus today. But people do that. Once people start having convenience of a car, they stop walking. They stop running. They stop doing certain activities. The more easier and more convenient stuff is to that person, the less they do. It's like Wally. You remember Wally?
The robot, probably.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Uh,
robot.
I, you know what? After Toy Story 3, I kind of haven't really watched the Disney movie.
Okay.
So,
Well, Wally basically it touched bases on that because they had machines do everything, and the
mhm.
people got really lazy, and it was in outer space, and they were overweight. They couldn't do nothing for themselves. The
Mhm.
Earth had became a cesspool. You know, it was like that was the whole concept of that movie. You know,
Mhm.
that's what that was touching base on. You know, and that's kind of
Okay.
how yeah, that's kind of how that's you see it now with our society now. You see it. You know, the more convenient, you know, try to tell your kids something. They're gonna go on Google in 2.5 seconds and check your facts. And if Google's against what you say, they're not gonna hear it. And the Google's a good thing and a bad time because sometimes they erase. People's been catching them erasing certain historical facts on the internet. And that's the problem with kind of like that fireman book. That's the problem with being a modern society is that they can change the history books. Like think about it, years from now, everything goes digital. They could say slavery never happened. Who would know the truth? If everything's digital, who will
Yeah,
question it?
that that is crazy.
Nobody.
I mean, I will say that high berries are, you know, because I know, I mean, even with the audiobooks, I know I've got a couple of them that I've downloaded. I couldn't imagine, like, I don't have that imaginary mind anymore to go read a book first and foremost.
Yeah,
So,
very
you
difficult
know, an
sometimes, especially finding the time.
audiobooks are, and then I don't even have like an actual audiobook thing. Like I got a bunch of audiobooks that I'll be at work listen to and get some downtime and and stuff like that. But it's just one of those things where I do agree that you know the internet can always be like, but it's like the thing I don't like about the internet is that if you Google something, it gives you both answers. It's like yes and no. And that's the one thing I don't like about the internet, was starting to irritate me. Because we were looking up, what the hell were we looking up? We were looking up something. And it was like, oh, yes, it can kill you, but it's like, okay, it's
They
either
never
yes
give you
or
a
no
straight
answer. Like,
right. They
yeah,
can't
like,
give you
yeah,
a straightforward answer.
it's like, it'll be like, oh, it might be
I
contagious,
got an interesting
but
question.
only, okay,
Damn.
what's up? I've just learned to not question it. He picks and chooses. Is happy that he's saying something.
I could have.
What's your
James just
question?
came out of nowhere.
What's your question?
If they erase slavery, what would happen?
Oh no, I feel like it doesn't matter anyway.
Truth be
To be honest,
told, I
I
feel like
already had that argument. I
if
already
they
had that
erase,
argument.
One person at a time.
erase,
One person at a time. One person at a time.
if they erase slavery, people is gonna hate me for this. I feel like it might be better for Black people. I think it's been purposely, systematically reminded that we're slaves. Think about it. If you feel that you can't make it, you won't make it. If you feel like you're a lower on the food chain, you have all these things. I mean, think of these rich kids who never experienced certain kind of racism and never had that feeling of I can't do it, or oh, when I'm Black, kind of like the episode on Fresh Prince with Carlton, when he just was oblivious to that whole situation. He felt like he could do anything. He felt like he literally can do anything. It was nothing holding him back because he didn't have that. He didn't have those things going on in his life. He came from a different era. He was in a different environment, and he wasn't thinking the way Will was thinking, right? He wasn't on that. And I feel like if we was to stop getting a constant reminder, oh, you was a slave, right? We had you down in the ha ha ha. You know what I'm saying? It's like a constant reminder. Yeah, you ain't, your people really ain't just let you be here, my nigga. You know what I'm
the
saying?
funny, no, I don't know what you're saying, bro. Because I honestly don't know what you're saying. Because white people aren't the ones that are reiterating that. Black people are.
That's a good argument.
That's a mic drop right there. That was.
Can you elaborate?
We had this argument on the podcast like a month ago, and people were like, I brought it up because they were like, no, what was it, G? White people shouldn't raise Black children.
But yeah, basically, yeah. It's not good for for white people to be raising a Black kid.
Yeah, and you guys all said because white people can't explain to Black people about the struggles that Black people go through and all kind of dumb shit, and I was
exactly.
like, that's
well,
stupid.
I wouldn't say that wouldn't be my reason, but I I wish I was there that day. That wouldn't have been my reason. But go ahead.
No, but that was just it. They were like, you got to explain to Black kids what's going to happen to them and, about the past. And like, they were basically saying just that. Like, I was like, what happens if slavery was erased? And you guys are like, oh, it'd be cool. Like, people could just go on with their lives. But no, it's not. You're like, yeah, white people would. I don't know too many white people that are like, yeah, we kept you guys down over the years. I've never really heard that from a white person. I don't know.
But what I'm saying is like by it being it's like the whole like I like Morgan Freeman approach, right? Why can't this be history? Why can't this be American history? Why does it have to be stop having the separation, right? And just put it within a history. But we have to have implementation like that because they take it out. So we have to point it out, and also it's like also pointed out to be uplifted in a sense to the people that we still have. Like for instance, because I remember growing up, I used to feel like at one point I feel like Black people we wasn't nothing because I didn't see Black people doing anything. My cartoons was white. My everything was white. Everything was white. So I didn't see Like I didn't know that a black man, helped do heart surgery and help with the blue baby syndrome and help. I didn't know that a black man helped with the pacemaker and all these different things of that nature. So in a sense, it is kind of good when you do it in that sense. But the constant reminder of, but if you just implement it as history instead of as that, that whole going back to slavery and going back to this and that, it's good. It's influential to know some of and to know our black history of how the cotton gin and all these different things of that nature, to give those kids and those adults that strive to keep going. But like you said, years on down the line, if they never knew about slavery, they'll be like Carlton.
Yeah, but whose fault is that? Whose
Oh,
fault is that?
Black people, but see, black people want titles, and that's what irritates me about all these things that because I know a lot of black people that want to be represented in a certain way, but it's like black people complain about, oh well, Black History Month. I don't believe that white people just said, here's Black History Month. I believe that it's black people that compromised and was like, okay, well, we'll take this month. Juneteenth. It's like, no offense, I haven't heard shit about Juneteenth for maybe the last 5 or 6 years. Wasn't really a fucking thing until until certain started talking about it. Now it's implemented.
I was
But
so
it's just
oblivious to Juneteenth. I felt like a less than black person because people was acting like because I didn't know, and I really just genuinely didn't know. I'm like, I didn't know I didn't know anything about it.
And that's what he's saying about white people. White people aren't literally coming to you and being like, "Oh, nigga, you don't know about Juneteenth? What the fuck is wrong with you?" Like I would never call out a person who doesn't know about something when it comes for instance, it's like when it comes to movies, it's like you could just tell that our movies, it's like white people don't look at they don't make movies that in history. It's like when it comes to a white person, they do, especially like movies like The Aviator. It's like the dude who created the plane, but created a certain plane. It's like they showed his rise, his fall, his drug use, his downfall to the point of where he figured it out. But it's like how many black movies that we have?
What movie? Huh? What movie?
Aviator. It's Aviator with Leonardo DiCaprio, a dude who made the fucking Aviator plane. Like who went through all this shit. It's basically he created a plane for wars and stuff like this. But but to my point is that when certain white people are acknowledged in history, they show the whole thing. It's not a lot of black movies that I see that are made in this 20-year time period. It's like we get just the rise just the fall. We get a little bit rise and then fall. It's like that's what irritates me about whenever I see.
They don't have the budget. They don't have the budget to keep it up.
And it's like okay, and that takes me back to Ari Spears. Ari Spears is one of the most funniest dudes that I listen to, but he's right. If all the he literally said it. He was like he would love to see a Harlem Nights of now. Get some of the best comedians together.
Oh yeah,
and create studios, make movies, and all these things. Like, yes, I'm not a fan of Tyler Perry, but it's like I have to put some type of respect on his name for creating a studio.
Respect on my name. My bad.
Like I said, at the end of the day, at least he has a production company, and now 50 Cent is doing the same shit. But that's two son of a bitches out of hundreds of black actors that can come together and build something. So I'm tired of people saying that, oh, well, we can go to, day parties and hang out and all this shit, but you can't put millions together and build something and build fucking shit. Like, that's not white people that are putting y'all down. That's just y'all staying in your place because it's easier to be a producer, and it's easier to be a co-producer than it is to go out and take a chance and build something on your own. I agree with James 100%. If these guys took a chance and put money up and said, hey, okay, Araji and like, you know, all these people, we're gonna fucking come together as black actors, fucking John Boyega, fucking Denzel Washington's son, like all these Michael B. Jordan, some of the top black actors in fucking Hollywood. Denzel has 100 motivational quotes out there that are mind-boggling. Like, I live by most of these quotes because it makes sense. But bro, like, okay, you do the Equalizer. It's one nigga and a bunch of white people. It ain't a lot of niggas in the Equalizer, first and foremost. You know, it's not,
right. Well, because it wasn't originally. It's not originally a black thing. At the end of the day,
no, I get that, but it's to the point of where you like. I'm not saying that if you substitute black people for these roles, it's like instead of having that white lady who died, you could have had an Angela Bassett in that role. To me, it would have had the same effect. It's like we just had this argument. We was replacing some people with certain people that would make sense, and we was like, oh shit, I could see her playing this role. I could see him doing this. And it's like, I'm not saying have a bunch of I'm not saying have Will Smith play fucking Malcolm X or nothing like that, but I'm saying certain roles you can tinker with.
Man, that would be good, though. That would have been good.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
I don't know. He did good in Ali, man. He did good in Ali. I'm sorry. That
I would say, Ali. Will Smith is good at what he's doing. He's good at the non-serious funny guy. He gotta save the world. That's all he can do. Like, I can believe him fucking being a cop, stopping aliens. I can believe him a superhero. It's certain things I could believe him doing, but
I think he would do good at that.
In this day and age, like I said, Emancipation wasn't a bad movie, but it's like him being a slave. And like movie. Me, I'm probably the only black person that I know that actually watched Emancipation. I don't know too many niggas that
see that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
I don't have Apple TV, so that's why I didn't see it.
You can't say Will Smith.
I don't either.
You can't say Will Smith will play Malcolm X though. You can't say Will Smith to play Malcolm X. Denzel already played it.
I'm saying, to my point is that they've made
remake movies
that have had other. Not even remake.
Did you watch Malcolm X?
Oh yeah, it's a really good movie.
Oh no, I did.
Yeah. So why the hell would you remake that?
Well, they do it all the time anyway. I'm saying for the next era.
Remake black historical movies. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We can have 16 of the same white person movies. But it's like black historical movies. Name me one black historical movie that they remade. I'll wait.
I'm not a movie buff like that, so I can't really tell you. But is that
hold on.
So let me ask you this though: is that the only way we can get across to the youth?
No, but I'm saying that's the problem. I'm saying that if entertainers come together and build production companies, if these black people feel like I said, I'm agreeing with you. If these black people come together and show because these are the faces of what young youth is looking at. So I'm saying we can get like Japanese people can get together and create movies.
Japanese
white people can get together in movies. They got Mexican Disney movies. I think it's like 2 or 3 all Mexican cast Disney movies about superhero Mexicans and all this shit. Who got TV shows like Shogun and all these things and Anywhere, Everything, all this. So you have other races that are able. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they're not funded by obviously white production companies. But it's like, damn, these are historical times for other races. I'm saying, why can't some of our top black names?
They even came in on a Black Panther and now they just discredit Wakanda.
Here we go again with this shit.
Oh no, yeah, like I said, like when it comes to anything Disney, I've kind of just given up, and that's saying a lot for a person like me. Like, don't get me wrong, I still watch Marvel and I watch Disney, Star Wars, and all this stuff because it's just something I do. But having any hope for these like, they're just cash straps. All of these Marvel, anything, and Disney, anything that Disney does, it's just a cash grab. They're fucking hurting so bad, they'll make anything for anybody to watch. They don't give a fuck. They've given up. Like, X-Men was great, and then you fire the guy because he has the OnlyFans. Fuck you guys. Fuck you. X-Men was amazing.
But they didn't fire the girl who on a freaking interview stated that she was literally purposely putting gay stuff in Disney cartoons to get the agenda done and a fucking interview.
Like I said, and plus black.
This is the problem right here.
Like I said, that dude, he was black and very open about how he was, and like I said before,
this is the problem. This is exactly the problem. The fucking conversation started with why are we like, what would happen if we keep talking about slavery? And then it fucking bounced around, and now it's on Disney cartoons and black people remaking shit.
I mean, I agree with that. And I mean, I really did answer that question. Like, what if we didn't talk about slavery? Would it? You said, would it make a difference or anything? And I'm just like I said, I said, youth doesn't care about slavery nowadays. So it's like, I feel like it's not explained like how it was explained to us. So it's like, I've already had this conversation with kids. It's like, kids know Michael Jordan as a brand. I don't know the impact. Even I have been, as you know, there's like this whole GOAT topic, and I would put, like, I will be the first one. Anybody who knows me, G can vouch for this. LeBron James is a hard case to be in a GOAT, but I can't give him that status anymore because Michael Jordan is bigger than basketball. He's bigger than entertainment. Niggas get tattoos of, niggas get their cars, niggas have built houses and built Jordan brand. The Jordan brand is just too massive to say that this person is not the best of all time. If you look at it from a bigger point of view, and you look at Michael Jordan now, like I said, fuck The Last Dance. This dude is putting money towards prisons and all of this shit.
You sit here and you look at black people is kind of fucked up. I ain't gonna cap.
Yeah, exactly.
He's an asshole, low key.
And what one of the biggest, godliest motherfuckers and who is black, who is doing to black people, is one of the most sickening things. So that's why I said I agree with James. When it comes to our people are putting us down more than white people. I know a bunch of white people that praise me, and I'm not shit. But I also know a lot of niggas that would cut me off at the ankle.
They say
any
shit
chance
like you're one of the
they
good ones.
No, exactly. It's like, damn,
but that's kind of fucked up when you think about it. It's kind of fucked up when you think about it.
And it's like, that's how it is, though.
Huh?
That's how it is, and that's why, like I said, I agree with James when it comes down to it. Like, I mean, I don't know if this is what he's trying to say, but I feel like slavery, it can go either way. Talked about, not talked about. It's like, until you explain something, it's like, what does it matter? It's like we were able to, and to sit there and process roots or whatever, or just slavery. We were able. It's just like the Holocaust. How many Jews are just talking about the Holocaust? Jews don't talk about the Holocaust. They just live life.
I don't know, but
No
they
Jews
know
sitting
about their
around
culture.
talking.
Jews know about their culture though. I'm sorry, Jews know about their culture. I don't know if you've been around any Jews. They
Okay,
know about their
but I'm not
culture.
saying that they don't. I'm not saying that they don't know about their culture. I'm saying that they don't use it as a goddamn excuse every time something goes
Yeah,
wrong.
of course not.
It's
They
like
own
every
every fucking
time.
thing. Jews own
And
every fucking thing.
exactly. Why can't we
They
own
own
everything?
everything. They're not hurting. They're not hurting for shit. They own everything.
Yeah,
Kanye, you know,
I'm
crazy as
saying we
Kanye is,
sit.
he put emphasis on that. Like they own every fucking thing. The
Okay,
labels, the
but it's like they
movies.
came together. They came together and took a bad situation and turned it into a money cash grabbing growth lucrative thing. It's like black people are so worried about, okay, well, I'm trying to do better. It's like I know dudes who are rappers out here. I know 6 or 7 upcoming rappers, and instead of coming together and uniting because individually it's not working, it's like, but like everybody wants to be the face of the group. Everybody wants to be the 50 Cent. Everybody wants to be the and be like, sometimes, nigga, you ain't 50. You gotta be a Tony Yayo. Sometimes you gotta sit at the, sometimes you gotta open the door. Sometimes you gotta fucking clean a nigga's shoes. So sometimes everybody, like, and it's like, I tell young niggas this. I'm just like, sometimes you're not gonna be the face of a brand, but it doesn't mean that you're not gonna make your money. It doesn't mean that you're not gonna have a fan base. Khloe Kardashian was one of the most disgusting bitches on the planet, but some niggas loved her. I've never understood and say the same shit. Oh, well, she was just a real one. What the fuck's that got to do with that bitch looking like a man? At the end of the day, she could be as real as shit, but that bitch looked like a man, but she still had a fan base. So it's like at the end of the day, it just drives me insane that when it comes to coming together and building something, people that we look at on these movies, when you got people like The Rock and Oprah asking people for money first and foremost, is just ridiculous. It's like we don't see Tom Hanks and fucking
And they got
Kathy
plenty of
Bates
money.
asking motherfuckers
They
for
got
money.
plenty of right. They got plenty of stuff to do it with. It's just like I say, you know what the problem is with our people at the end of the day is we know how we are. It's like Slim and Cook. It be our own people that puts us down half the time. I'ma just say it. It be our own fucking people. There's a whole bunch of gatekeepers. They don't want to put nobody up on game because they concerned that they gonna overpass them. They don't want to. Nobody wants to help nobody. They see a man hurting and they kick him. Nigga, ninja, get a job. How about can if you can't get that man a job or point him in the right direction to get a job, then you don't need to say shit to that man. You don't know what that man's been through. You don't know what his circumstances are.
and who
So it's like,
cares?
and that's the
I
problem.
disagree
Nobody.
with that. I
Who
disagree
cares?
with that
What
because
Who
I'm saying is
cares?
what I'm saying is that's the problem. We don't care about each other. Those everybody, all the other
no,
races,
but it's
they
not
care
even
about
that
each other.
though.
Why
No,
is
it's
it
not
an
even that.
excuse?
Have you no. Have you talked to a young dude and you try to give them a job? I know too many young men that I tried to put on, be like, okay, here, bro, here's the website, here's this, here's all the information. And niggas would be like, oh well, oh well, how much they paying and fucking, oh, what do you gotta do? Nigga, you just said you need a job. So after you hear that 100 times, and you like, okay, I'm giving you all the information. I'll call my supervisor. They'll be waiting on your call, fill out the application. It's like, oh, well, they want me to go to this site. They want me to do this. And, oh, nigga, I got to spend $100 on a car. Nigga, I ain't trying to do that. Nigga, it's not about we don't want to put niggas on. When you start telling me all these obstacles of, oh, well, I got to leave the house. I got to shave. I got to cut my
Some of
hair.
them, Right.
I'm like,
And,
damn, nigga, you just said you wanted a job.
right. And they got some people like that, but you that don't mean you just give up on everybody. It's just like
I mean,
they got people like that. It is what it
Oh
is.
man, that shit
They
is
got
crazy,
people. I'm
bro.
just saying, they got people like that, bro. Like there's people. I know somebody right now who got offered a job. Got offered a job. It was like, hey, they don't have no job, and it was like, look, check this out. If you last 6 months at this job, I could refer you. If you last 6 months at the job, I get $1,000 as for giving a referral. The motherfucker gonna sit up here and say, do I get $1,000? Motherfucker, you get a job. Because cats be thinking too
oh,
small. You know what I'm saying? Like you
I
ain't
would,
got
I
nothing.
would have never.
You ain't
I would. Me and that nigga would have not had words.
like, bro. You get a job, bro. Like what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like your priorities is toe the hell in. Your priorities is toe the hell in, man. You up here worried about the wrong mess on some
But
real
okay,
shit.
but you're saying
But
that you can't keep like denying our people. But I'm saying after you deal with that, I mean, I don't know how old you are, but dealing with that for so long, it doesn't you don't eventually start to feel some type of way, like, okay, I'm gonna get
no,
obviously I'm not saying that I deny everybody, but it's like once you start giving me a bunch of excuses on why you can't do something, I'm just like, okay, enough
yeah, but
said, call it. I can't do it.
look,
I just can't.
no matter how much dumb shit Lois Lane put herself in, Superman was always there to try to save her because he gave a fuck.
You do
That's
know
all it
Superman
takes.
is not real, right?
I know I'm just using that. It's just an analogy, motherfucker. I'm just
Yeah, but
saying, give a
it's a
fuck.
terrible analogy.
I'm
Give
just
some
saying,
And
humans.
and
give,
yeah,
give a
that's
Give
fuck.
not.
me
I
I'm
fucking
just,
the
all I'm
Superman
saying,
analogy. I get your analogy, but that's
bring up some
Superman shit.
all,
humans.
I, all I'm saying is, look, don't get fixated on the terminology. I'm just saying in general. Unfortunately, until it gets better, we have to give a fuck. Are we
But
gonna
see,
are we gonna are we gonna keep doing this? Keep doing it the way we've been doing it, which
but
is not
bro,
giving a fuck about nobody. It ain't
you're
done
bringing
shit.
up emotion. Look, Keith just said a factual negative. You came back with a analogy that is completely cartoonish.
Okay, I'll say this. Just say this. Your child. How many? If your child come to you and he do some bullshit and he fail, are you gonna stop being there for that child?
I told my child a long
I
time ago.
I put it.
A long
Oh no,
That's what
time
I'm
go.
ago.
Go.
saying.
I said I
No
told
matter
my child
how
a
hard he
long
falls.
time ago. If you shoot for the stars and miss, I got no problem. When you start shooting for the dirt and make it, that's when I got a fucking issue. So,
It's at the end of the day, I will do everything in the power for my child as long as that they're I feel like this. I'm a believer in once you become an adult, there's nothing that I can do for you. I can give you all
Right.
the advice, just like you said. I can lead a horse to, but it's
But you
like
can't
for
make him
instance,
drink.
if my kid is 18 or sorry, not 18, 21, and he's with a chick that's just dogs him, and he constantly brings this chick over, I can tell him everything about this chick. His sister, his mother can tell him, but if this nigga is just pussy matized, I can't do nothing about it. I can hope that he'll get the message and all this stuff, but it's like if I tell my kid at 21, hey, bro, there's a job over here. I can fit you in. But he's making up every excuse. It's like, yes, while your kid is a kid, your kid is your 100% responsibility on his growth. But once he becomes an adult, he has to make adult choices. I could,
Right.
like, if he
But
wants to
but
grow up and do drugs, I can't do shit about that. I
right.
can tell
But
him, stop
now
doing drugs. It's going to hurt
but what
you.
happens
I
when
can Whoop his
What happens
ass.
when he comes
I
back?
can physically pick him up and throw him into AA, but it's on him to want to change.
Right. And what
And
right. And
and
so
you have to. Oh, bro.
once he wants to change, you're gonna be there for him, right?
Yeah, but
That's my point.
it's only so many times where now you're gonna affect my life, and it's like I'm gonna start to lose sleep after you. Like, okay, if you're like, okay, Dad, hey, I want to go to rehab, but it's like I get a call a day later and said he checked himself out of rehab, and now I got to go back to a crack house to come and get you. After you do that so many times, I love my kids, but it's like I'm not gonna keep putting myself mentally, emotionally through this stress. I got an
Right.
aunt that literally has two kids that have put her through so much stress. She's in a hospital, can't walk, fucking. She's basically a fucking cabbage right now. And it's like we
Right.
watched this for 10 years. So it's sometimes you kind of got to just be like, it is what it is. I can't
Right. But I know
can't help you.
what I noticed with us though, we systematically have done over the years is the opposite of everybody else, which is that we tend to put our kids, we don't prepare them for the world, but then we send them in the world. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then we up here saying, "Oh, they're not this and they're not that and they're not this." And but you send them in the world, you ain't gave them no chance to get their bearings right, and you just send them out there and expect them to be like, "Oh, okay, we got
Yeah.
it, it's cool." And
Exactly,
that's and that
because you train those kids to be real and to stay 10 toes down and to not snitch. You guys don't teach a fucking kid how to balance a fucking checkbook. So what do you
right.
Very
expect?
true.
So what do you
Well,
fucking,
but
but again,
exactly
whose fault
what
is
I'm
that?
exactly
Very
my
true.
whole
It's not
point.
my fault.
My whole point is that's our cultures. That's what we do. I've met like a few Latin parents, right? Mexicans and Latins. They they are there for their children. Like their children could be in the house, get them a job or whatever, or go to school and don't have to worry about shit. I've seen Black parents who kids are not even in the house no more, forcing them to give them money because they got a t-shirt still at their house, forcing their kid to give them money because I ain't got no money and I'm hurting and blah 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 blah
Come
blah
on.
blah blah, instead of taking care of what I'm saying, instead of making sure their child get their shit straight. But meanwhile other cultures is building they child up. Okay, yeah, you stay here while you go to school. Go ahead and go to school. You ain't got to worry about no bills or nothing.
I'm
You
confused of
concentrate
what
on
your
school.
argument is. My bad on cutting you off, but I'm still
No, you
confused of
good.
what your argument is.
No, I'm saying how our people, we put a lot of times we put our Black youth out there to the wolves and we don't prepare them for it. That's all I was trying to get at, is that
Yeah,
we put them out there and
but
we really don't prepare them to deal with
that's
shit,
just
you
it.
know?
That's just it though. It's not the whole culture, but the part of the culture that teaches their kids how to move in the fucking world, those kids make moves and they leave the other kids behind. What you're
Yeah.
saying is they need to help those other kids and hold them and coddle them until everybody gets. That's not how this world works. But that's the problem. There's people that sit there and say, well, you're not helping those people that are down. Well, fuck. I sat there and fucking told a dude, look, man, I got an opportunity here. I got a business I want to start. Basically, I need you to work it. And they're like, okay, I'm down. I'm like, you make like $1,000 a month right now. So that's $12,000 a year. Yeah. Okay, that's nothing. This job will pay you 65K. Okay, what do you have to do? You got to jump in this truck and drive around to these businesses every day. Okay, how many businesses I got to go to? It's not that. You got to talk to these people. You got to, sell them product that's in the truck. So wait a minute. I got to actually talk to these people. Yeah, you got to be like friendly with them and shit like that. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't like talking to people now.
Now, are you referring to something as on a commission basis? Or are you talking, or are you gonna give them that, like they make that money regardless?
Does it
That's
matter?
the that be the difference for people. So you got people like them, like for instance, if they got to get into a business to sell, you know, I'm a product. This is say a product that they get into a business to sell a product that they unfamiliar with or care about or have any real interest in, and they know they got to sell that product to make their money. And if they don't sell that product, they don't make shit. It's like people do that, but they prefer to do that when it's something that they know or can relate to. Because I've been on,
Did
and I
you?
say that, because I've been on both. No, I say that because I've been on both ends. When I was starting out, I didn't care. Like I was like, I want to work. I don't give a fuck. I want to work. I don't care what I do. So I went to the mall, and I ran into one of those instant money efforts. They sell oils, incense, candles, and all this stuff like that. And I would be there, and I would rub lotion on people and shit, and try to sell this stuff. And if I didn't sell nothing, I didn't make no money. And when your heart is not in that product, it's a little harder to sell. When I was down and I couldn't find well, actually it was while I was had a job too. But when I was doing like my graphics and stuff like that, and just the things that I'm into, the thing that I know about, like forwards and backwards, I was able to articulate better. I was able to approach people better with the product that I was trying to sell. I was able to do that on another level. So then you have people who's never been out there and trying to do sales, sell a product that they have no ties to and no real knowledge about, and they're trying to sell this product. And if they can't sell this product, they're not going to make no money. That's excruciating for a person who need money. You feel me? Like a
But it's
person who's
fear.
at home, they could do that. They could do that
Nigga,
all day long.
this is you're
It's fear.
literally listening to the problem with our people right
Like,
there.
oh,
No,
okay,
I'm
but
just saying I've been on both ends.
You know,
That's
you
all.
keep saying no, you keep saying you just saying you literally made an excuse for this dude. You don't even know. That's
No. I
just
didn't
and
make an
no,
okay, but
you
excuse
that's
did
what
you
for
I'm
him.
did.
saying. Like at the end of the day, like nobody knew that LeBron James would be LeBron James. People
Right.
rocked with him no matter like his friend Rich Paul could have dipped on him at any point in time and said, you
Mm-hmm.
know what, I don't believe because there's no way he had a good game every game. There's no way that people could have known he would become as rich, famous, powerful, influential, whatever. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's what we're not teaching, that there's going to be hard times, men
Right.
or women. Aren't black, especially black households? It's like I agree with you on the factor of I already have a plan. Like I said, with my kids, rent is going to be paid regardless of the fact. I would never take a percentage of my child's check like son of a bitches have done to me in the past. First off, I'm giving you from 18 to 21. I'm teaching you to build your credit. I want you to get a car. I want you to trade that car in eventually and get a new car. I want you to save up money and get a place. The only thing I will ask you to do with your money in those 3 or 4 years is buy your own fucking food. I'm not feeding no grown ass man. That's the only thing I would ask. Other than that, feed yourself. You ain't got to feed me, nothing like that. You got 3 years from 18 to 21. You can go to college, you can work, you can do whatever you want to do. I'd rather you stay home for 3 years, build up your shit, and then go on in the real world and figure out what you want to do. If you need extra time, 2 extra years, that's fine. Take as much time as you need to get your credit to a 9,000, to get a job. Say, I don't like this job. Fuck this job. I'm try this job. Because there's plenty of times that we all can admit that living with family, it's like, you got to say it's this shit job. You got to duke it out. Because if you come home and be like, hey, I'm not feeling this job. Because in that time period, it was everybody's like everybody of that generation was like, nah, there's this job, make this money. Why would you leave? Because I'm not feeling like that I can grow at this job. We all have been there on that situation. We all been working at a Popeyes, a McDonald's, a Target, a fucking 99-cent store, and been like, okay, I know for a fact that I'm not going to grow here, but it's just to pay the bills until I figure out something else. I want to figure out what I want to do in that crucial time of 18 to 25. That's why all these young men end up hooking up with these chicks and getting chicks pregnant and fucking up their lives, and women too, is because they don't have time to figure themselves out. So it's like they rush, especially black men and women. It's because we're not taught to, here, take some time. No, I'm gonna need $500 from you for rent. That person's checks is only a fucking $80 every 2 weeks.
Right.
Of the fact that makes no sense. That makes no sense. It's like
that's the only thing I was that was the only thing I was arguing, was the fact that is that a lot of us, what we do is we do not prepare our. You're talking about preparing your kids, and I'm just pointing out the fact that that's not a common practice for a lot of people, and sometimes, and on his thing about we're supposed to help the ones that that I guess didn't get it. I feel like we should, just because there's some bad apples. I feel like what's wrong? Maybe we got some of our black brothers and sisters who grew up in fucked up families, who have fucked up mentalities, who can't look beyond what they see, and sometimes it takes that person to influence them for them to go beyond that point. Sometimes it takes them to fuck up 2 or 3 times.
But your kid has to fail and know that an environment to where they can learn from that failure. Now, I don't think when it comes to this, but I think in a way, it's like when I was a kid, I learned from other kids. We kind of raised each other. Nobody could have told me shit back. Like my friends from like high school to like 25, that was our influence. No adult could have told me anything at that age. So it's like, I get what he's saying on that factor, but it's like, I knew that I didn't have that support system. So even if I fail in this situation, I feel like us as black people need to support our kids on their failures instead of when they fail, we dog them. How many times have you been subjugated to being, oh, well, if you would have did this, then you could have did this. Well, I told you that was going to happen. And I went through my whole life. Yeah, exactly. And that shit is degrading after a while. It's like, okay, how come you just can't be saying like, okay, hey, I'm sorry, Pet, that didn't work out. Okay, how come you don't try this? Or how come you don't try that? I'm not saying that you have to coddle a person, but it's like mentally breaking somebody down, verbally tearing somebody down is the reason why we are how we are. And that's one thing that I don't try to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I'm not going to verbally tear you down without teaching you the fucking blueprint. Nobody taught me the blueprint when I was a kid. I'm giving you the blueprint. Use that motherfucker.
Right.
That's what pisses me off about black youth. I gotta watch black women literally argue with me and say, "Oh no, what? Like I'm trying to teach him about his feelings, and I'm trying to teach him about his emotions." No, you teach this little boy.
Well, you do have to be to an extent. I feel like to an extent, you have to know how to deal with you have to be taught how to deal with your emotions, because that's
a woman cannot teach a man.
But a woman can't do a woman.
About a man's emotions. I'm sorry. I disagree with that 100%. Like I said, I get dudes ain't shit, but a boy needs his father just like a girl needs her mother at the end of the day. I'm sorry. I'm tired of women saying I hate my mom. I basically hear that more than it's like, so y'all just don't get along Why? Because y'all just stupid. Like I see moms try to be more friends with their daughters because, like, oh, it's just easier because I want to be her friend. Like I want to have her understand where I'm from. Man, that was not the case when I was a kid, and my cousins and stuff would go through shit. No, my aunt would not come to terms or accept the bullshit that is accepted now. And I feel like, yes, when it comes to black youth, it needs to be a collective of, like I said, I feel like it starts with a form of loyalty and camaraderie. Like these kids are willing to go to battle for each other. It's like when I was a kid, in high school, like I wanted to see nothing. Like I couldn't hear that my friend was about to get his ass kicked and not been there. Kids will fucking hear some shit and not be there for their, which is just crazy to a person like me. It's like if you're like, I mean, it's just like the small shit we do now. Like I'm gonna tell you happy birthday. It's like it's kid, like you don't give a fuck about each other's birthday. I'm not saying you gotta buy a nigga shit or take a nigga somewhere, but it's like, damn, nigga, at least hit me up on my birthday. Like a nigga will be like, literally, fuck your birthday to another kid.
Oh man, you know what's crazy, bro? I just want to say something
to a person like me.
Since you said the birthday thing. Sometimes I think what it is too. Well, I can't speak on everybody else. I'll speak on me. Birthdays is not as significant to some others. Like some people don't count birthdays. Some people birthdays on another day. So other people they only count one birthday. And then some people, you know, like myself, I've seen for myself is I never really had a good birthday. Never really meant shit to me. So naturally, I'll try to remember and I'll try to like be enthusiastic about somebody else's birthday. But birthdays ain't never really meant shit to me. So I don't. Naturally, I might not be so like, oh hey, happy birthday, or oh hey, what's like I'm gonna forget, or it's like, oh happy birthday. It ain't really it ain't never been a big deal for me. So I don't take it as like oh man, it's your birthday. Oh man, what you gonna do? Like it's like I have to push myself into that.
I'm not saying to and to that extent, but I'm call somebody a brother. Like I said, I'm not saying I do it with everybody. But people that I cherish in my life, it's like that's the least I can do. I'm not saying that yes, if we didn't live in the same town or the same state, I would for sure be like, hey bro, let's go do something on me.
Right.
Like there's no way I wouldn't at least take you to go get some food. Like I said, I'm not saying I'll buy your ass a gift or nothing like that, or fucking take you to the strip club or nothing. But like, damn, nigga, at least I'm gonna make
$20 around.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's dudes who don't even care about that when it comes down to it, and that's what I'm saying. When it comes down to niggas can't even give you like that's why I hate social media so much. It gives a motherfucking excuse to just half-ass shit. Like I don't have to connect with this person to like talk to them or nothing like that. Like everybody who matters in my life, I call them on certain days or certain events or certain things because that respect is given to you. That respect, that means that you mean something to me. That means that if you get a text message from a person like me or like a Facebook message, I ain't trying to fuck with you like that. I ain't trying to fuck with you like that.
Right.
And it's like, yes, there's too many people that are like that in my life. Like I got hundreds and hundreds of contacts in my phone.
You super old school.
And it's like I love hearing a person's voice. It's just like this. I would love to do this in person. I want to see the raw emotion. I want to see the reaction. I want to be able to look a person in their face and hear what they're saying and have them hear what I'm saying. It's like at the end of the day, it's like, yes, this is still kind of a disconnect to a person like me. Yes, we're talking and having our opinion and stuff like that. But it's like I said, we see these things on TV and social media and stuff like that. And it's like people like, I don't know. I just see a lot of people talking how we talk still. It doesn't matter how many podcasts I listen to. It's like you can still tell they're watered down. Like people don't ask the questions that we ask. Like I can't Like maybe they're worded different, but it's like asking like hard questions. I'm talking about raw questions. This is just like Jay said, like, what if we stop talking about slavery? It's like, I ain't heard nobody ask that. Like, that's a legit, like, just some random ass niggas saying, oh, having niggas say, oh, well, slavery don't matter, or this person, that. It's like, at the end of the day, it's like, nobody talks about it because everybody's trying to push an agenda. And it's like,
Right.
and it sucks. It sucks that agendas
Right.
are being pushed. People are being idolized that don't matter. It's like we will never be idolized to the factor because we will never push an agenda. I don't care how much money you put on the table. You can never change my views because my soul means everything to a person like me. My soul, my heart, my drive. I love money just as much as the next person. Now, don't get me wrong. Can you silence me from going on the internet? Like, I'll take a check to be like, well, you'll never get to talk about this on the internet again. All right, but you can't stop me from talking about it in the world. Whatever. I'll never speak about it on the internet again. Pay me to shut the fuck up. All right, I'll take it. But you can pay me to stop talking about it on the internet. But I'm going to still have my opinion to everybody else. That's just how it is. I'm not saying that I'm not against making money at the end of the day, but I'm not for making money consistently and not having my opinion. There's no way I can go on TV or do these shows and listen to so many people and just be sugarcoated. Because sometimes, yes, you do need a Cat Williams. I do disagree. And sometimes you do need to own yourself in the right way. You need a little bit of both at all times in the chamber, ready to go.
Right. Do you believe the strong should protect the weak?
The strong should protect the weak. No, because that is not how I grew up. And I'm a strong motherfucker. I grew up beat the fuck down, like literally at every aspect that I can think of, mentally, physically, emotionally.
So you go off your experiences. You want everybody.
You said what?
So you believe in the next person should have to go through the same thing you've been through?
No, not in this day and age. No, because it's just going to make you even more weak.
Only
and
the
because
strong
you have
survives,
too many people.
That's the statement. Only the strong survive, bro. That's the statement.
Oh yeah, like my son will never be as strong as me because of what I've been through. Because I coddle him. I mean, I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I spend most of my time protecting him from bullshit. If I literally let him go through the bullshit that he puts himself in without saving him, just like you said, the Superman factor. I do agree with you. But the shitty thing about Metropolis is they know that Superman's always gonna be there. So they never have to take accountability. Why do we have police? Why do we have firemen? After a while, what's the point? What's the fucking point? What's the point of having any of these people that are working people? It's like now you're taking jobs away from, because I tell people this, the shitty thing about Superman, which I don't think a lot of people think about, when that city gets destroyed, he ain't fixing it. I mean, who's building backup apartments? How many people are in the hospital? You don't want to sit here and think about logic. It's like when Superman flies to a building and that building collapses, what do you want me to believe, that there's nobody in those buildings?
That's what they That's what they touched based on Hancock. Even though it was
Exactly.
A lazy
but it's shit like that doesn't get talked about.
Right.
And you technically just ruin people's lives. But at the same time, like my all-time favorite superhero is Batman. But it's a fact. If there was no Batman, there would be no villains. So it's like, who's the true villain at the end of the day?
To Batman, first of all, Batman don't even go after the big villains. He go after the he go
It's
out
not
he go
even
out and
that.
beat
It's
out
not
regular
even that. The
people.
only reason why
I'm just
the
clowning.
only reason why there are villains is because there's a Batman. If there
Right.
was no Batman, there would be no villains. And you would have crime. You would have guys like Carmine Falcone and my bosses, but you wouldn't have a Clayface. You wouldn't have a Two-Face. You wouldn't have a Joker. You wouldn't have a Poison Ivy. If there was no such thing as Batman, there would be no villains. There would be no threats. So when you
I don't
look
know.
at
I
it
feel like
from that point of view,
I feel like those villains. I feel like eventually those villains would come to fruition either way, because you're gonna have somebody that want to be in power over everything, in charge. People get obsessed with power.
like, and there's no disagreement there. But most of these villains came because they saw a person who tested their ability, and they wanted to stop that. Most of them wanted to prove that, hey,
So that can still happen with a rival gang or a rival enemy.
Like I said,
So,
but like I said, if you see one man is stopping, you know what? I'm not gonna keep going on this. To my point, it's that at the end of the day,
no, you good. My bad. I was talking to my wife.
No. To my point is like I just got done telling a chick. The true definition of insanity, like we always say, true definition of insanity is doing the same thing
Right.
over and over and expecting a different result. And that's where I am not on the same page as most people. How you say that you want to keep helping the same people, I'm not insane. So
No, I'm not saying like on a regular, like I'm saying like let them fall, right? Let them go through the turns, and then boom, you help them. Okay, they do it again. Next time they fall, you don't help them right away. You let them go through it. You go let them go through it, because when you tried to help them the last time, they, they reneged on you. So you let them go through it a little longer, so they get it. And then you spend later on down the line, you still try to, when they finally get it, because that's some people, unfortunately, some people take a kick in the ass to get it. So you gotta let them get a kick in the ass a little longer.
Okay, well, let me ask this. It's like, okay, if a white guy, preferably, builds a Fortune 500 company, like I said, here we go, like a Jeff Bezos. He obviously leaves his kids something. Okay,
right.
That's generational, consistent wealth. So it's like his son says, okay, I want to, do a little bit. I don't want to be as hands-on as my dad. And then his son says, I don't want to be as hands-on as, my grandfather or my dad.
Right.
He still builds generational wealth. So even if he runs that company to the ground, he still has more than enough money for at least 2 more generations. It's like, look at all the top 10 companies in the world. It's like, yes, a black-owned business like a bakery or a mom and pop shop does not equal up to generational wealth. It's like you actually now I'm not saying that Jeff Bezos doesn't have to, well, I mean, I will. He doesn't have to slave as much as a mom and pop shop or whatever. But this is what irritates me about, this is why I say YouTubers are doing something that is so smart. You get these famous YouTubers and they buy a $10 million house off of making, and then these YouTubers hook up with OnlyFans chicks. So it's like 20 people come together, buy a $10 million house. It's easier for 20 people to pay $250,000 to buy this house, use it for content, rent it out, do it all over again. And so now you have 20 people have 10 mansions, 16 cars, and they're all living in these houses and making content and generating money from the ages of 18 to 25. Yes, are you selling your soul? And like I said, not a lot of these people are black. Let's just go on record saying that. A lot of these white people are coming together, figuring it out. What's stopping black people from doing the same thing? Because just like James said, we ain't about we got respect for ourselves and power to the people and word and I ain't about that OnlyFans life and nigga, but you can sell drugs, but you ain't about that OnlyFans. What? Hey, I can sit here and play 2K all day, but nah, nigga, I bet you never get, like I would never hunt her online, book ass nigga. That don't make a lot of sense to a person like me. It's like, I'm not saying that you can't have respect for your relationship, but it's like younger women, white people have broke the code. And we've watched two motherfuckers that literally are the faces of boxing and wrestling. Like Jake and Logan Paul, motherfuckers can say what they want about these motherfuckers. I used to watch these assholes on Vine. Dude, 2-minute video. If somebody would have said that Logan Paul, 20 years from now, WWE, when John Cena, Randy Orton, all the niggas was on top, to say that Logan Paul, the niggas that's doing Vine, will be the damn near the face of the WWE, I would have told you bullshit. If somebody would have told me that the reason that I'm about to get a boxing game again is because of Jake Paul, fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. You could not.
You know what's crazy though? I know what I noticed about a lot of those YouTubers or a lot of those people who came up on a lot of Vines outside of the few of the miracle people. When I start looking at, because that's
not even miracle people though. That's just smart.
No.
That's just smart business.
Right. No, I said outside of the miracle people. I'm saying when I look at some of the people who has came up when it comes to YouTube, it's like it'd be people like, for instance, it's this dude. He does art. He goes around. He does art, and he does it in these different like people with wealthy. They're pretty wealthy. It's in a wealthy predominant area. And he and I'm like, damn, how is it that he could just go in there and he offers to do art or whatever for them, and So then I started researching the cat, and this dude was his people already rich. So of course he had time to sit up there and develop his little YouTube thing and all this stuff like that. Nigga ain't had to worry about shit. Ain't had to worry about a damn thing. But just doing whatever the fuck he wanted to do. Like that's the beauty of generational wealth right there, is that the fact when your kids get older, they could focus on what it is that they actually want to do and put their energy into it. I think that's the beauty, that's the most beautiful part of generational wealth right there. Like even Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump, he had the startup money, regardless of how he was able to do it. He found something he was interested in, and he was able to get that support. And I think with our people, a lot of us, some people do, because Black people with some wealth does exist, but a lot of us could strive a lot harder if we had some form of real support, a real support system that would push them. I'm not talking about the fuck ups. If you go past the fuck ups, just the general people who would benefit from support is what's needed. And that's why I was saying so far as like helping your kid or helping the next person, because I say you don't know what they've been through. You know, it's people who come from a family that's so disconnected, no friends, no family, and they just out in the world. Like there's people out there that's like that.
I can tell you why though. Name me one person that you could say from 18, one Black person, whether it be male or female, that has been consistent from 18 to how the last 20 years. Because we can name hundreds of white people that have built something and that has been lucrative, but how many people have created something not to really better, like that we truly know of, that is consistent, that is talked about, like whether it be a Donald Trump, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Elon Musk.
I mean, been consistent. Tyler Perry.
Hundreds of what? Huh?
Tyler Perry.
Okay. And it's like, what did he create that's bettering humanity? By the way,
Huh?
what did he create that's better? Like Amazon. People can say what they want about Amazon, but I just got them using Amazon. I use Amazon like a motherfucker.
Nothing.
Xbox.
His dream was to create the first black studio.
I don't give a shit about his dream. What did he do to progress humanity?
Right, but that's and it's just like you with you said not wanting to help the next person. He don't give a fuck about humanity. He'll
But
care
that's
about his
not what I'm
dream.
asking. I'm literally asking about what. Name me one black person that has built something to better humanity's growth.
Oh, better humanity. I didn't hear that part.
Yes, name me one black person in the last 20 years that we could say that's been talked about as much as the 5 or 6 other white dudes that I've named.
I know somebody who attempted that didn't succeed because
like
they died.
Not saying that. This is the problem with black people right now. I'm saying
I'm trying to figure out what you're saying.
I'm literally saying name a black person. Well, to my point is that this is the reason why James feels how he feels and I feel how I feel. Why would I? Because there's no blueprint. There's no blueprint. There's no factual that I'm going to invest my time in somebody. I get what you're saying, invest time because you never know. Will you never know? Because who's the blueprint? Who's the blueprint? Jeff Bezos is a blueprint. Elon Musk is a blueprint. Donald Trump is a blueprint. Mark Cuban is a blueprint. I mean, I could keep naming white person after white. Bill Gates is a blueprint.
But I mean, I don't know Elon Musk's story, so I can't really speak on him. But I know
it's not
Donald
about
Trump.
His story. It's about he created something to progress
as well
humanity.
What did Donald Trump create to progress humanity?
Like I said, he businesses, hotels, buildings, property. There's jobs. I mean, he's literally built stuff to progress humanity. I'm saying that.
Oh, so you're saying something that generates,
progress humanity.
Right? Yeah, I got you. You like building jobs and put people in a different position. Not just
I'm saying it as simple as I can. Progress humanity.
I got you. Well, I'm doing a lot right now. You gotta understand.
No, that's fine.
The first time I didn't even know you said progress humanity.
No, I'm just saying I'm just saying to answer your question earlier about why, black, given a chance and helping black people. I'm saying this is why, because we don't have a blueprint to prove to us that this person is going to progress humanity. Like LeBron James built a school in his hometown. Yes, he's progressing. I'm not saying that he will be the blueprint because we've actually seen him do one thing. Now, like I said, I will be the first one to say that it's a lot of black people in Hollywood that do things in secret, and I'm not, and me and G have already had this conversation. There's a lot of people like Samuel Jackson that give back for the last 25 years and that have put black kids through colleges. I respect Samuel Jackson cold-heartedly because he's a silent person. He does things for, he's put kids in certain fields and that have grew up to make changes in science and stuff like that. But he doesn't, like I said, but the issue with that is that we don't know those things all the time. So it's like you don't tell us. Now, I'm not saying that you want the admission, but you want the acknowledgement, but I'm just like, what's so bad? It's like we have to be silent and humble. And that's bullshit to a person like me. But you just said
Nipsey Hussle was trying to do that before he died.
You said
Nipsey Hussle was trying to do stuff like that before he died.
Nipsey Hussle is another thing. Is another one. Like, I'm not a Nipsey Hussle fan, but it's like him trying to give back to his community. Yes, that helps the community. But it's like, what about the progression of humanity?
But it got to start
I
somewhere.
said,
It got to start somewhere.
and
If
I'm
you
not
start in one community
disagreeing
and
with,
branch
and
out,
it's like, and you are 100% right. But we know as soon as a black person starts somewhere, he's gone. So it's like, why are we going to invest like Martin Luther King? Oh, okay, you know, he spent what 30 years of his life trying to make change. What, a year or two after he made change, what happened? It's like history has taught us anything. It's like a black person can try to make change, but will you live to see that change? No, no. And it's like
yeah.
that's what
You know
we've
what,
been
Martin? I think you
programmed.
know what,
That's what we need to get out of. It's like
right.
if and like I'm not saying that we need to accept death, but I'm saying that I know for a fact if I do something and I make and I'm gonna help kids, preferably black kids, be better. I know for a fact that my little life expansion is gonna be gone because I know the more I inspire minority kids, the more that's not what the world wants to see, which is understandable. But it's like if I could inspire any kids to make change, not just black kids, not just white kids, not just youth in general, because I believe what you kind of were saying earlier, I think it's just youth as a collective needs to come together. It's not just black kids, white kids need to be separated.
Right.
We need to build things. We need to be able to put our names next to other kids or just other people. It needs to say, like, why don't we have more black directors? Why don't we have more black scientists? Why don't we need to be able to put our
We have
name.
black scientists that just people don't know about them.
I'm not saying that we don't. I'm not saying that we don't. Nobody said. I'm saying we don't have more well-known black.
Right.
scientists.
But I
That's
think
what
that's
I'm
also
saying.
a problem. I think that's also a problem that we have is we want that prize. Why people gotta know? Think about it. What if Martin Luther King organized the Million Man March and all that stuff without being in the front? Would he might still be alive, right? If he wasn't in the front,
Yeah,
and doing all this and doing all that, he didn't have to have. If he didn't get the publicity, he was just like a silent leader. He'd still be alive.
yeah, but at the same time, he wouldn't have been able to enforce change like he did as well. So it's like I said, you got to know that you have a short
He could have appointed one of
life
his soldiers to do that.
expansion.
He could have appointed one of his soldiers to do that so he could continue his work,
But see, I
like
just
they do,
don't
in the army.
believe.
That's how they do in the army. They appoint their soldiers to do things so the person with the plan can continue to push the agenda. I don't know. Just thought, you know.
I mean, I get it, man. I guess it's
I'm
just
just saying, you
one
know,
of those
like
things.
that's how we win these wars. That's how we win this stuff. Is they put their lieutenants and their sergeants out there. You don't see the president going out there fighting no damn war. You don't see you see them sending their soldiers out to take care of that. If we use that same demographic, we can silently do a whole lot of shit. But people gotta be flashy. People gotta make some money. They gotta get a big ass chain and say, "Oh, I made it. I got all this money. I got to hold some money against my ear so I could say I got bread because I got 100,000 in my hand next to my ear or whatever it is." And you know what I'm saying? Take away that I need to be seen and I need to be known. We could systematically do some shit, and then once that shit is in fruition, then you could, start making it, putting it out there and making it known that all these people is growing and have triumphed and stuff like that. Do that shit in silence. Everybody don't have to fucking know. That's how the black community do. They move all their people into one house. Next, they buy that house. Next thing you know, they in their house next door. Next thing you know, they own the whole block, the whole neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Silently. They ain't have to say nothing to nobody. They didn't have to show off. Didn't nobody have to know what they were doing? You know, half of them was doing lines. I'm just saying.
I mean,
we could work together. Like you said before with the rapping thing. Everybody want to be 50 Cent. Everybody got.
I feel like everybody of our race wants to be 50 Cent. I feel like that's if they're just speaking on black issues. Yeah, niggas don't like taking a back seat. I will. Like I've told you 100 times, it's not about money for a person like me. Like, don't get me wrong, I want to get mine. It's just like if James was out here and he was like, I'm gonna do this team of shit. Hey, can you do security for me? Hey, nigga, I love experiences. I don't need the money. I don't mind helping. I don't mind contributing. Nigga, I don't mind helping.
But anyways, yeah, I'll let you guys go because I gotta go anyway. Time 8, nothing. It's getting hot, so I'm gonna get some eat.
I gotta go get my dick wet. Holla at you.
All
right.
I'm totally putting that in the intro, by the way.
That's too funny. All right. Until next time. God damn, it's been 5 hours and 14 minutes. Jesus Christ.
All right. So with that being said, I want to thank y'all for F you. So with that being said, I want to thank y'all for checking out another.
Okay, I'm done.
So with that being said, I want to thank y'all for checking out another podcast. I want to thank Keys. I want to thank Keith. I want to thank James for being on this episode. Definitely appreciate it. On your way out, make sure to like, subscribe, follow, wherever platform you're on. Check the link down below to see the different podcast platforms if you want to just hear the audio version of this. Also, make sure to check out the Clips channel, Fit the Description Podcast over there on YouTube. And with that being said, and once again, we do have an Instagram, which I do need to upload on there more, but we do have one if you want to check that out too. I'm going to try to post more. And beyond that, there's not much else we got to say. Thank y'all for checking us out, and we will be back next week with a new episode. Have a good one.